The Endangered Species Act in the US is a vital legislation aimed at promoting the recovery of threatened species. It does so through the use of recovery plans. But with over 2,000 threatened species, it seems almost impractical to produce a recovery plan for every single one. This is where multi-species recovery plans, or MSRPs, come into play. Since 1982, MSRPs have become increasingly popular, with at least one produced annually. But what's the point of all this? In this video, I'll discuss the pros and cons of MSRPs, along with the findings on how they're faring compared to single-species plans. Previously, people have supported and criticized MSRPs, but it wasn't until Clark and Harvey that we have some solid evidence to show for it. By analyzing MSRPs released from 1982 to 1988, they found the following. MSRPs were approved and implemented quicker, taking 40% less time compared to their single-species counterparts. People have also argued that having a more holistic ecosystem view is paramount for a species' recovery. Previous experience has shown that there are merits to this argument, especially for species that are geographically close to each other. In addition, plan content was shorter and contained fewer recovery tasks on a per-species basis, saving resources. This is vital due to the constant legal battles with private landowners and environmental groups of conflicting interests. MSRPs are also useful for when species have limited data. However, a questionnaire among recovery planners have revealed that they tend to provide poorer foundations and a much narrower spectrum of biological information for each individual species. People also thought that MSRPs would be easier to review and update, but this was disproven. In fact, no MSRP was found to have been reviewed more than once, probably due to plan length and the complexity between species requirements and interactions. Another study found that in reality, MSRPs actually had a lower number of tasks actually implemented into it. Boersma and Taylor and their respective colleagues studied population trends of species in MSRPs, and they failed to identify any improving trends. In fact, Boersma concluded that MSRP species were 4 times less likely to improve. With such discouraging evidence, should we just go back to the single-species approach? Can we afford to go back? With the US Fisheries and Wildlife Services current resources, that would be nearly impossible. Instead, we need to find a way to make it work. Despite all this, authors acknowledge that MSRPs can be effective with proper focus given to each species involved, rather than doing so for efficiency's sake. While recent data is still lacking, we know that perhaps they have taken this piece of advice seriously, as MSRPs rarely contain more than 2 species nowadays, and large plans such as the 1999 South Florida Recovery Plan that covers over 60 species are a thing of the past. Thank you.